All right. So first and foremost, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about Amazon Q developer today. This session is going to be a deep dive for you to get to know more about this service that we launched a few months ago, and we are going to have demos that will show you how to do code transformation, code documentation, where how to use Amazon Key to fix the code, optimize the code, and so on and so forth. So today, I just wanted to walk you through the overall concept because Amazon Key has different flavors, of course. And today is going to be a focus on the developer and builder perspective, right? So just as a quick reminder, this is the overall AWS generative AI stack, and you know that we have three layers. The bottom layer, which is the most comprehensive set of tools and infrastructure, including training and inference, which are specific design chipset for you to run your large language models, deep learning applications, and things like that. We also have SageMaker. On the middle layer, of course, you may find services like Amazon Bedrock and capabilities such as guardrails, agents, customization capabilities, including fine tuning. And the top layer includes services like Amazon Q Business, Developer, Amazon Q in QuickSight, Amazon Q in Connect, and things like that. Today, I just wanted, as I said, I wanted to focus on the developer side for you to get to know the overall development lifecycle and how you can incorporate this. And also, you're gonna get to know how this is integrated with Code Whisper and how we are merging the two capabilities into a single one so you can make the most when you are creating your applications. Again, as I said, Amazon Q has multiple areas of expertise to meet the needs of different users and roles across organizations. For example, you may want to use Amazon Q Business to talk to your documents or to ask Amazon Q to create a narrative. So basically, you can index whatever type of documents you may have, and structured documents, and you can connect to 40 plus different services, including, of course, Word documents, PowerPoint. You can connect to Jira, Salesforce, Oracle. You can leverage Amazon Q to index a range of different applications, and you can start using natural language processing to connect to your enterprise data. This is one of the use cases. The second, and the one that we are going to be focusing today, is the Amazon Q Developer, which is available through the Amazon Q Builder plane, which have write, debug, transform code, and moving from an old version of Java to a new one. And new capabilities will be introduced, like the capability to migrate .NET applications as well as mainframe applications and so on and so forth. So I recommend you to stay tuned because we're going to have new news soon on this space. We have Amazon Q in QuickSight, which is pretty much a way to create to allow users to use natural language processing to create their own dashboard. So it's pretty much a way to implement generative BI. And also we have Amazon Q in Connect and Amazon Q in AWS supply chain. But today the focus is to understand the overall development life cycle. As you can see, we have different personas, including architects, designers, developers, builders, testers, DevOps, SRE, product managers, and so on and so forth. But usually when we saw applications and generative AI usually use, they were pretty much provided as coding companion and inline completions. So was something that we used to see with Code Whisper, right? So you could add comments, and then you start adding new features, functions, methods, and whatever you want. Say they wanted to Code Whisper was understanding what you are trying to implement and provide additional recommendations based on the knowledge base it has, and also any custom repositories available within your company. But we wanted to move forward with that. We wanted to go further, and then we start adding new capabilities provided out of the box with Amazon Q. For example, say you wanted to plan your application and need to find the specific technical guidance from relevant documentation, code examples. So, for example, say you wanted to implement a serverless application. There are multiple ways to tackle this. You can use a lambda function, or you can go with EKS using Fargate. So there are multiple options. You can use DynamoDB and things like that. So Amazon Q provides recommendations in sort of a recipe on what the gear looks like whenever you want to implement a new application, right? And it's available within the console. Suppose probably most of you have experimented with that, but it's also available in different places. When it comes to create, and we are going to talk about generate code, manage infrastructure, inline coding companion available within the IDE, and also the CLI. For those of you that haven't seen already yet, I'm gonna be showing during the demos a way to integrate Code Whisper within your CLI, and then use a natural language. So you can use can specify what you wanted to accomplish, what you wanted to implement in just natural language, and Code Whisper in CLI you're providing the respective command to implement that particular feature. And also you have chat in IDE. And when it comes to review tasks, of course, you're looking for ways to create unit generation, to apply a proper task case for code changes, to scan for security vulnerabilities in code and remediation. So there are multiple things that you wanted to do from a single place. And that's the overall purpose of Amazon Q. You're going to realize that for all these steps that I'm showing right now, understanding and learning, plan and decide, develop, review, monitoring tasks, and maintain, you're going to be able to accomplish all these different tasks within the software development life cycle from a single place. And again, as I said, the overall purpose of Amazon Q developer is to provide quick and accurate answers to questions about AWS and code, accelerate development tasks with AI assistance, and also fix code, optimize code. You can transform your code, for example, going from Java 7 uh, or 8 to Java 17, for example, then you can use this literally to implement, to automate these steps. And as I said, Kiwi is not available within the IDE, but it's available also within AWS management console, within the documentation, the console mobile app, and Code Catalyst, which is our platform to implement development of new applications where you can check in code, where you can pull requests and things like that. It's available within Visual Studio Code, JetBrains, Amazon Studio, and also you can use Slack and Teams via AWS chatbot to integrate with Gear. So I wanted to start with the first person of Amazon Q, which is the exploring plane. So as you guys are seeing here, we have the console where I'm starting asking questions. But the beauty of this is that you know that today AWS offers over 20, 220 sources to build virtually anything you can think about. So when we start a new project, there is a certain amount of resource involved, as I said. So you wanted to pick up the right tools, you wanted to integrate the right tools, and this is really important. And also you can use the chat to explore new AWS capabilities. And previously, when you start a new project on AWS, you often had to know which AWS service to use. And the idea is to use Amazon Q developer to guide you through this process. And also you can ask Amazon Q to create a new application from scratch just by providing all the steps required. I'm going to show you this during the demo. But again, when it comes to create a code, we are thinking about code generation, explain code, help understand your code base, customize to your code. And here you're seeing this quick demo, a way to implement using CodeWiz, but you can go even further. So you can ask questions about your code. You can refactor, optimize, and fix the code. You can write test units. You can plan and write complex features, summarize pull requests, and do a code review feedback before merging your code changes. You can upgrade programming language. For example, you can go from Java to Python. You can go to COBOL to Java, and so on and so forth. So you can literally do everything from a single pane of glass, right? So with the Q developer professional option, you have the ability to basically ask. You can go from natural language prompt to application in feature in just a minute, in just minutes. So during the demo, I'm gonna showcase how to implement that. But I can say, for example, creating Python code, which we're gonna have, which will connect to a web form with 5 fields: name, email, address, phone number, and things like that. And I wanted to implement a Lambda function to do that. The way I'm expressing and the way explaining is that uh, the way I'm literally saying naturally language, the way my entire application needs to be. And using this capability where you just provide a slash dev into the prompt, you're going to be able to see a new application being created uh, from scratch in just a matter of minutes. This is one capability that we are going to be exploring during the demo. This is one very simple one, which allows you to incorporate Code Whisper to the CLI. So basically, as you guys are seeing here, I'm using my CLI, which is connected to Code Whisper, and I'm saying to copy all files in this directory to S3. And it provides the respective command required to do that. This is a very simple one, but you can do this to whatever you want. You can ask to create a bash function. You can ask to create a bash script and things like that just by using a natural language and ask the IDE to complete whatever task you need. One additional thing that I wanted to emphasize here is it's the test and security perspective of this implementation. So for example, in this application, we have found a vulnerability which was providing username and password as plain text within the source code. And after running the code scanning, Code Whisperer has identified the issue, and then we are able to fix the code just by following the instructions. I'm going to do this as a live demo. This is only for you to understand what can be done and what can be accomplished from the same place with the Amazon Q developer. One additional thing that is really important as well is the capability of using Amazon Q to troubleshooting uh, your environment using the console. For example, in this case, I have a Lambda function which is connected to Amazon DynamoDB, and I wanted to um, I need to add a new item to a DynamoDB table, but after additional evaluation, Amazon Key has identified that a function doesn't have the necessary permissions to write to the DynamoDB table. And then at the bottom, as you guys probably may have realized, Amazon Q provides the steps to fix the issue, right? I'm gonna do this as again as a live demo so you guys can see what it looks like and how we can easily accomplish that. And one additional and really important thing is the ability to maintain and modernize code. For now, we support migrating from Java 8 to Java 17. Uh, and we're going to be adding new capabilities soon to so you can perform .NET framework to cross-platform .NET upgrade. This is going to be a new capability that's going to be released soon. So with this, that's going to be helping you port applications from Windows to Linux much faster than you can do today. Now I wanted to show you this quick demo on how to do modernization from Java 8 to Java 7. So we have two classes. One is the unit test. We have the POM XML file. As you guys have realized, within the Maven, we are talking about Java 8. And the first thing I'm going to do is to use slash transform, which allows us to modernize applications from Java 8 to 17. Then I'm going to ask you to transform the code. That takes a few minutes to be finished. So it's going to zip the code and upload the secure build environment. Then once it's finished, it's going to generate the transformation plane explaining all the different steps, such as the dependence, needs to be a code that needs to be fixed for the Java 17 that are no longer supported, fixed from Java 8 that are no longer supported in Java 17. And you're going to see the transformation completed. You're going to see all the steps required, and we can download the proposed changes and see what it looks like. So you're going to see as a build success, 2 test runs, everything worked, and we can see the difference between the POM XML file to see that it's now migrated to 17. And for example, this is a very simple and very straightforward. I just wanted to highlight what the process look like. But within AWS, several teams are doing this, and they were able to migrate 1,000 applications, and each application took less than 10 minutes to be completed. Right. So this is really powerful and really straightforward. And for those customers that you came across, any opportunities you can experiment with that. Right. As the next step, what I wanted to show, and during the demo, we are going to experiment with all these different things. So we are going to see Amazon Q in the console, in the IDE, chat in the IDE. We're going to see the Code Whisper feature development. You're going to be able to experiment with uh, Amazon Q in the command line, code transformation, chat in the IDE to debug and optimize the code. We're gonna see in the console how to troubleshoot errors by fixing a lambda function just by clicking on a button. We're gonna generate a unit test, find security vulnerabilities, and remediate code. we are going to experiment with all of this, and this is going to be the capabilities from Amazon Q developer that we're going to be experimenting. Q console, Q in the chat, Q in code whisper, Q feature development, Q troubleshooting, and Q code transformation. So this is enough talk. Now I wanted to start with the demos, and I wanted to share some of the assets. So first things first, right? Whenever you connect to Code Whisper, uh, you need to specify whether you're going to be using AWS Builder ID or if you're going to be using the professional license, which required the AWS Identity Center. In this case, I'm connected to AWS Identity Center. I have enabled Code Whisper and my user to be able to use those functionalities, right? So that's the first thing you need to do. So as you guys can realize, I'm connected to IAM Identity Center. That's the first thing to do. As a first step, what I wanted to do, if you look at the left side, you're going to see this panel and this toolbox where you're going to see the Amazon key, right? So we have the ID and we have the chat. The first thing that I wanted to experiment, and is going to be very easy, really straightforward, is that I'm going to start a new chat and I'm going to start talking to Amazon Q, right? So first thing is going to be a very easy question. So for example, how do I check my AWS usage bill in the console? After a few seconds, you're going to see the answer provided. So with all the steps and the references used to answer, one additional thing that is really worth mentioning is that we also have suggested follow-up questions. So for example, which models Amazon Q use? What is how is Amazon how does Amazon Q rule tasks and things like that? So let me start asking questions now on how to generate code. So for example, say I wanted to use Amazon Q, how can I check the number of Amazon S3 buckets I have using the CLI? So you're going to see the answer and also the sources provided by this documentation. And this is a very simple one. I can just come here, copy, insert this, whatever I want, right? And this is the kind of the chat. So let's move forward and say I wanted to, for example, to write a Python to create an Amazon S3 bucket. This is going to be a really easy step. But I wanted to drill down into this generate code portion. This is a very simple one, and it provides, again, all the sources and things that you need to know that were used to create that answer, which is okay. I can refine the prompt if I need, but now what I wanted to do is to do something different. For example, say I wanted to uh, provide a JSON object and ask Amazon Q to write a COBOL program that calculates the sum of the line items and calculates a tax of 7%. So I'm gonna just add this to my prompt. I'm gonna start asking, and Q is going to provide the COBOL code right here. So I'm gonna move to my project. I'm gonna just copy this. So let me create a new file. Say I wanted to create a new file, right? Line items.com, right? And then what I wanted to do is to simply use the same code. And now, based on this, I want Amazon Key, for example, to explain this code. So I just need to highlight this code, send to Amazon Key, and ask Amazon Key to explain this code. So we have the data division, identification division, procedure division, which are for those of you that are familiar with COBOL, we have these four sections available, right? So, and then it's explaining all the steps, which is great because it provides the parsing portion, the calculation, and also the display results. And you can refine uh, the question. So, for example, say I wanted to ask what could be improved for this particular code. So it provides a way to change the variable names, error handling, and things like that. Now, say I wanted to convert this code to Python, right? So I can basically say, send to Amazon Q and say, convert the following COBOL code to Python. And you're going to see the same application and the key points used to convert that COBOL code into a Python application. And say I wanted to do something different and ask now convert the same code to Java, right? And here is the Java code. We can, of course, specify more specific details, asking to create code, to optimize the code. And this is exactly what I'm going to be doing for you to experiment with. So say now I wanted to do like some sort of conversational coding flow. For example, I'm going to ask to create a list of TV shows in Python, create a list of ratings for these TV shows, and merge them to make a JSON object of 10 shows and their ratings in descending order. So that's going to be my next task for Amazon Q. So it's going to generating the answer, right, for the Python code, and providing like a summary on what this application looks like. Then say I wanted to create a test case and I wanted to test above use case, right? So say test the above use case on creating list and list of TV shows, for example. And it's doing the same for Python. I can do, for example, say now I wanted to ask to Amazon Q which programming languages do you support today? I'm going to say lists like Java, Python, COBOL, SQL, and many others. Um, so based on that, what I'm going to ask is to how to convert the above code to C++. So here's the same thing implemented in C++. And I can ask now do the same for Java, okay? And here is the class created. And it explains the difference between the two. Now, say I wanted to, for example, use this class. Say I wanted to create a new file. For example, TV shows, right? New class. And I'm basically gonna use the same application. And now I wanted to provide additional documentation and additional comments into my source code. So what I'm gonna do is to ask Amazon Q to comment the following code. Right? So all the source code got commented, and this is something that we can easily accomplish. One important thing that I wanted to show to you, going back to this application, is that we have the capability of optimize and fix the code, right? So for example, say I wanted to optimize this application, right? So calculate tax. I'm going to ask Amazon Q to optimize the code for me. So as you guys may have realized, there is a loop, right? A for loop. And it's using J as a variable to initialize, but it's incrementing the I with I++. This is an error, right? And Enablement has optimized and has identified ways to fix that, and also uh, provide additional tips on how to initialize the variables and things like that. And if you wanted to go further, we can ask Amazon Q to fix the code. Right? You're going to provide all the steps required to do that. So for example, number one, loop counter variable J is not being incremented correctly. It should match the development in loop condition. We should calculate tax amount in total outside. This is a very easy, very simple, but this is only to give you a glimpse on what can be accomplished using Amazon Q to fix your code. This is something that can be easily accomplished. And one additional thing that I wanted to show you is the security scan capability. So where you can use uh, Code Whisper and Amazon Q Developer together to fix the source code. So for example, let me go back to this application down here, e-wallet, model, wallet pie, and I'm gonna go to Code Whisper and ask Code Whisper to run a security scan. It's going to take like a few seconds because it's scanning all the active files and its dependencies. And as, for example, if I click here, it's going to show all the scan files, right? When you see the problems, you're going to see a variety of different problems. And you're going to see that all this that has this yellow sign says that they were detected by Code Whisper. So, for example, we scroll down here, you're going to see that in this project, we have these Amazon Bedrock samples and the agents for Bedrock. And in this particular example, double click here, you're going to see that we are specifying the SQL query using a string, which leads to potential SQL injection. If I just hover the mouse over the issue, I can see the details, right? And see what the common vulnerability is and which library use that. And what I can ask this to do, so for example, this is the CW common weakness enumeration for that particular issue and what can be done. This is a potential SQL injection. So say now I wanted to use Amazon Q to fix that, right? What I can do is basically to select this portion of my code and ask Amazon Q to fix that. So as you can see here, it has changed in using parameterized queries to prevent SQL injection, which is exactly, and if I wanted, for example, to change that portion of my source code, I can simply copy and paste, right? Copy this. And use, right? So that's the way. And then you guys can see that it's asking to rescan to validate the fix, which is okay. But let me scroll down to see ways you can fix this out of the box. For example, you can go to improper error handling, and if you click to view details, you can view the details of that issue and how we can fix that. And there is a suggested code fix preview. So it was this way, and Code Whisper integrated with Amazon Q is recommending to implement this way. So I can simply click on this, right? And click on the quick fix and apply fix, right? And that's it. So we are done fixing that. And one additional thing that I wanted to show as well is the ability to use Full Whisper AI. Then basically it's going to translate text to shell. So say I wanted to do, for example, um, move all files in this directory to S3 to a S3 bucket called Amazon here demo. And here's the answer. Very simple one. So you can edit, you can originate the answer, you can ask another question, or you can simply cancel. And if I want, I can simply start execute the command. One additional thing that I wanted to show you is the capability to troubleshoot using Amazon Q. So what I'm gonna do now is open the AWS console. So as I said, Q is everywhere. You can ask as many questions as you want. But now I'm gonna do something further. I'm gonna go ahead and create like a very simple lambda function, but just to show you how you can easily troubleshoot a lambda function. So for example, say I wanted to create a new lambda function, and I'm going to use the blueprint, and I'm going to use, for example, the getting started with a lambda HTTP. So basically, it's going to use a lambda to expose an endpoint for a web page. Okay, very simple one. I'm going to call this Amazon EU lambda demo, right? I'm going to go ahead and create a new role with that permission. And here is the source code. So as you can see, it's reading index HTML file and processing that one and exposing. So it's going to create an HTTP endpoint, which is going to be public available. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to create a function. And here's the function URL. So whenever I execute, this is the hello sample from the AWS Lambda. Very simple one, but let's say I have done by accident, I have changed this file. And again, forget to show. So for example, I click on test, I'm gonna see that the green button. So everything is working and we can see the answer, right? It's 200 response. Now, what I'm gonna do is gonna go to the code again, and I'm gonna change this on purpose just to see what it's going to look like. So I just deploy and I'm gonna test right now. And here is the answer. So no such file or directory. This is a very simple error that I have introduced, but the purpose is to see how that's going to work using the Amazon Q, right? So if I click on test, you have the troubleshoot with Amazon Q. So we see the details and we can click on that. Amazon Q is going to troubleshoot. And the beauty of this solution is that Amazon Q is going to say, hey, you have a file that is it appears that the lambda function is unable to find a required file called index1 HTML located in the function. And then I just click on the button, help me resolve. And Amazon Q is going to provide all the steps required to fix that issue, and says that I need to change that particular file to fix that. And I'm going to say that this is helpful. just going back to the code, um, fixing that, deploy, test, and that's it. The issue is no longer there. Whenever you use slash, we have a couple of options, right? So we have slash def, where you use all project files context for code suggestions. We have the transform capability. So say I use this, it's going to be able to transform your Java 8 or even 11 Maven project to 17. If I click here, you're going to see that in this case, I don't have any Java project using Maven, but in case I have something with that, that will be available. But again, we're going to not limit it to that. We are seeing preview. We're going to be adding new capabilities for .NET and mainframe migrations and many others to come when this project goes GA. So let me go back to my slide deck. And here are a few things that I definitely recommend you to go. Amazon Q Developer, Amazon Q Business, and Deep Dive Workshop to dive deep on everything I show, how to fix the code, maintain the code, transform the code, fixing existing code, and things like that. Thank you so much once again, and we keep in touch. Have a great rest of the day, guys.